When I teach online, I always want to make a good impression, especially with new students. So that's why I'm always looking for something that's going to set me apart, that's going to make my classes different. And in this video, I'm going to share with you something that I'm pretty sure is going to make your classes unique. So what I'm sharing with you today is the OBSBOT Tiny 2 webcam, and I'm positive that this little thing is going to improve the overall quality of your classes and it's going to help you attract more students. So right now I'm recording on my Sony video camera and I'm going to in a moment show you the difference in quality. So here side by side are the cameras that we're using, the Tiny 2 webcam and the Sony camera. Now, to be honest, there's not much difference in quality, and that's great considering that the Sony camera costs twice as much as the Tiny 2 webcam. For the sake of this video, I will be using the external mic that I use with my Sony camera, but the OBSBOT Tiny 2 webcam does come with its own microphone inside, much like most webcams. When teaching online, one of the biggest drawbacks is that you have to spend most of the day sitting down. This isn't great for you or your body. And one of the things I love as a teacher in a face-to-face classroom is that I get to use the space around me. And as you know, cameras are usually in a fixed position, meaning that if you do decide to get up in your online class, there's a good chance your students will lose sight of you, and also it will hinder your class. So something like this could happen.
Okay students, I just want to show you something quickly on the board to give you an idea of how this works. So what you can see, if you just look at my face, you can see how I'm pronouncing this. So if you just look at the way I move my mouth, then you can get a teacher, I can't see you, and this will really help you in your exam. If you don't do this in the exam, you're going to fail. ¿Cómo? Oh, well, is this better? Oh, can you see me now?
No.
Well, yes, I do have a head. I just you can't see it, but that's okay. Okay, are you okay just spending the rest of the class just looking at my chest? No.
So here is how OBSBOT Tiny 2 webcam can fix this problem.
I'm going to say now to the Tiny 2 webcam, track me. Now I'm going to stand up and move around my classroom, and look, it's following me wherever I go. Now this is great because it means I can get out of my chair and I can speak to my students, and this is more engaging as well for my students. They can see me out of my chair and moving around the classroom. So this is really great for teachers because we like to use our whole body to communicate. So for example, with my students, let's imagine we're talking about adjectives. I can use this like big, small. I can talk about lengths of time. So I was living somewhere for a long time, for a short time, or for a medium time. I just use my hands like this. Also, I can come to the board, I can demonstrate things. I can also pick up things around the room. So for example, I can even pick up my guitar, play my students a song.
Another aspect of the face-to-face classroom that we often don't use in an online classroom is a whiteboard. Now, what is the issue when you're using your average webcam? Well, usually writing something on the board and the students can't see it. So something like this. Hey students, I've got some great news. I'm going to give you the answers to the upcoming exam. So I'm just going to go write them on the board, and all you need to do is just copy them.
Genial.
Qué buena noticia.
Give me 1 sec.
A ver.
So the answers are
Pero,
okay, have you got that? Yeah.
que no veo.
Remember, this is really important because you won't get the job you need. Okay, great. So I'm just going to get rid of the answers now.
¿Dónde?
Okay guys, I'm so happy I could do that for you. Let's continue with the lesson now.
So now I'm going to show you another amazing feature on the OBSBOT Tiny 2 webcam that can solve this problem. Let's take a look. So I go to the OBSBOT Center and I select Whiteboard. And what this is going to do, it's going to select only the whiteboard and crop this out so our students can see it.
And that means now I can stand up and I can move towards the whiteboard, and I can maybe begin writing on this side or on this side or even in the center, and my students can be able to see this clearly.
You might be thinking, well, hang on, my students probably still can't see what's on there despite it cropping out the whiteboard. And again, OBSBOT Tiny 2 Webcam has a solution for this, so let me show you that. So from the OBSBOT Center, I can add presets, and the way presets work is that they allow me to add certain areas where I want the camera to focus on within its field of vision. So let's say, for example, on the right-hand side, which is usually where I record all my vocabulary, I would like there to be a preset that zooms right in on that so students can see the words that I'm writing. So to do that, I'm just going to move myself out of the way, and I'm going to move the gimbal right about there and zoom right in a bit more, okay, a bit higher. Okay, that looks great, and I'm going to add. So the way this is going to work, in a moment I'm going to stand up and I'm going to move towards the whiteboard and I'm going to call out a voice command that's going to zoom in on the vocabulary.
Position 1. That's going to write here, so I'm going to write, let's say I write a word like this, important. And here you can see the students can clearly see how it's written, and also this is information I always have when I'm teaching new vocabulary, is the type of word. So it might be an adjective, a verb, a noun, an adverb, whatever it is, I can include this information on the board and the students can see it.
Now I could make 2 more presets, so I could have a preset on the other side of the whiteboard, which is usually where I write my learning objectives for the class, and also 1 more preset for the center of the whiteboard, which is usually where I include maybe some grammar explanations, maybe how some collocations work with a certain word. And so you've got 3 presets in total. Just by calling out the voice commands for position 1, 2, and 3, you can then jump all to those different presets in class. As well as the voice commands for the presets, there are also other voice commands that we can use with the Tiny 2 webcam. So let me show you those now. So the webcam is currently on, and if I look to the webcam and say, sleep tiny. Oops, I just turned it off. And to turn it back on, I can just say, hi tiny. I can also use voice commands to ask the OBSBOT Tiny 2 webcam to zoom in on me if I decide to get up and move to the board. So let me show you how that works.
First, I'm going to ask it to track me. Track me. And I'm just going to say, zoom in closer. And you can see it's gone right up to my face. I can adjust how much zoom is used in the OBSBOT Control Center. And now to return to the previous setting, zoom out further. And I'm back to the original position. Currently, the OBSBOT Tiny 2 webcam is tracking me, so if I decided to leave the room, let's say I wanted to go to the bathroom, then I would need to say, unlock me. And now it's not going to follow me wherever I go in my own house.
As we've already seen, there are some really cool voice commands for the OBSBOT Tiny 2 webcam. But they're not only voice commands, we can also use gestures. So let me show you what those look like.
So here I am at the whiteboard, and I would like to bring the students' attention to me. So what I'm going to do is, instead of speaking and using some unnecessary language that might confuse the students, I'm going to use a gesture, and the gesture is just this. And there I am, right up close, and I can then speak to my students and they can really see, for example, in my classes, how I'm pronouncing the language that I'm using. And then to reverse this, we're just going to use the same motion, and the camera's going to go back to where it started. Now this is something a little extra, so if you're not using voice commands or you're not using gestures, we can use this remote control. And so this comes with everything you could need during a class, which means with most of the webcams you would probably need to come up to the computer and change something using the mouse or using the laptop or using a keyboard. With this you can stay right where you are and you can ask the Tiny 2 webcam to perform actions such as zooming in and out, and zooming out. Or we could use the presets, so for example, number 1. Or even go straight to whiteboard mode.
When we teach online, we're usually using a video conferencing tool such as Zoom or Google Meet, and we can use the OBSBOT Tiny 2 webcam with that software. Let me show you how. So all we need to do is go to the control center and go to this little icon here which says virtual camera. And we're going to click on this, and now this has activated a secondary camera that Zoom, Google Meet or other software can pick up on. So here I am on my Zoom software, and I'm going to go to new meeting, and I'm going to start video, and I'm going to choose this one, the OBSBOT virtual camera. Go to start video, and here is the Tiny 2 webcam functioning perfectly fine within Zoom. All of the offerings that the OBSBOT Tiny 2 webcam has is also functioning perfectly fine within Zoom. So for example, all of the features such as let's try one, track me. I can move now, you see that Zoom is actually picking up on what I'm doing as well. And likewise with Google Meet, here I have selected the OBSBOT virtual camera, and you can see it's working absolutely fine. Again, I'm going to test the features within Google Meet, track me. You can see here that it's going to again pick up on where I'm moving in my classroom. Let me give you an idea about how easy it is to get OBSBOT Tiny 2 webcam set up with your computer. So here you give you an idea about the size of the webcam. As you can see, I've either got massive hands or the webcam is tiny. And I'm telling you now, the webcam is tiny. So you can see that it has a USB port on the back, which can be used to plug into your laptop, or it also comes with an adapter in case you don't have that port on your laptop. It also comes with this nice little support which can be placed onto your laptop, and it's magnetic, so it provides that support you need. Now there are a couple of ways you can mount this, either on the laptop or you can either use a tripod, which is what I'm using. I really do believe that this new type of tool can give teachers a new breath of life in the online classroom, meaning they can get out of their seat and they can do things which perhaps before were restricted. And I know that there are definitely students out there that would appreciate this in the classroom. And it also just gives your classes that unique factor, that wow factor, that will keep students coming back to you.